As Lucasfilm starts churning the marketing arm publicizing Rogue One, the Star Wars storytelling continues to ramp up. While no long-form mediums were released this month, we have a great assortment of comic issues and even a short story to continue to enlighten us about the Star Wars canon. In spite of the lack of long-form mediums, several of the comic issues added some deep layers to existing Star Wars lore. Let us take a look at what came out and its place in the timeline as we explore the additions to the Star Wars canon, August 2016. There have been 8 separate entries into the canon this month. We start this month with Marvel Comics' Darth Vader issue number 24, the penultimate issue in this run. Titan Comics' Rebel Magazine issue number 6, which include the comic stories Assessment and Hunted. Marvel's Poe Dameron issue number 5, part 2 in the Lockdown story arc. The Force Awakens comic adaptation issue number 3. Marvel's Star Wars issue number 22, part 2 in The Last Flight of the Harbinger. Star Wars Insider issue number 168, containing the short story Blade Squadron Kuwait, which loosely relates to the events of Aftermath Life Debt. And finally, after a short delay, Marvel's Han Solo issue number 3. Now let us take a brief look at where each of these stories fits within the Star Wars canon timeline. As if not to sound like a broken record from last month, the trend continues with a lull in pre-Episode 3 content. With the upcoming Rogue One film set in the pre-A New Hope era, and Episode 8 coming out next year, the storytelling efforts are building upon those stories. After Episode 3, we know Rebels Season 3 is debuting next month, but to help the Rebels content drought, Titan Magazine gives us issue number 6, with 2 short comic stories, Assessment and Hunted. In Hunted, we see Zeb responding to a distress call of a bunch of recreational hunters when things go horribly wrong as Gundarks break free of their confinement and begin hunting the hunters. In Assessment, Season 1 regulars Taskmaster Grant and Commander Oresco are investigated for repeated failures on Lothal. While this comic is somewhat inconsequential in the larger canon tapestry, it is one of the first comics from Titan that has direct tie-ins to other stories, most notably the Servants of the Empire series with the inclusion of Zare Leonis, facts about which were only reported in that book series. After Episode 4, A New Hope, we have the 3rd issue of the Han Solo comic. Han continues in the Dragon Void run, putting his piloting skills to the test as he battles with his duty to the Rebellion and his personal pride. In Star Wars issue number 22, the Rebels have their sights set on the Star Destroyer Harbinger in part 2 of the story arc. Darth Vader issue number 24 carries a lot of weight to it as we peer deep into Darth Vader's subconscious as he battles the good in him, facing Obi-Wan, Anakin Skywalker, and Padme Amidala as he tries to wrestle more and more power from the dark side of the Force. This really brings in lore from the prequel trilogy into the classic trilogy era, and continues to build that unified story arc across all times. Again, nothing new here between 5 and 6. After Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, we have the next installment in the story series following Blade Squadron. Blade Squadron Kuwait serves as a tie-in to Aftermath Life Debt, who mentions the Battle of Kuwait several times throughout the book. It is great to see this squad back in action, and I look forward to the next segment of their story at the Battle of Jakku. Poe Dameron, issue number 5, was also released this month, part 2 of the story arc Lockdown. We get ever closer and closer to the events of Episode 7, The Force Awakens, as Poe Dameron continues his quest for Lor San Tekka at the behest of General Leia Organa. Lastly, the 3rd issue in The Force Awakens adaptation was released, which would not receive a permanent place in this timeline, but is worth mentioning as a canon adaptation of this film. That concludes this update for August 2016. And as always, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe to keep up with all the insight and analysis found here at Star Wars The Canon Explained. You can also follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Leave your comments and questions about this story or any elements of the Star Wars canon below. Till next time, may the Force be with you.